This video is about Super Mario 64 DS, but not in the same way that most of my videos would be about a thing. I've got my silly little list of notes here on the other monitor. There's not a lot, it's practically empty, but that's okay, because this is not an educational video. You're probably not going to leave this video knowing more about Super Mario 64 DS than you knew coming into this. Instead, you're not going to learn about Super Mario 64 DS, but you're going to learn about me. So, this video is primarily about an experience that I had with the game growing up that I've wanted to share forever, but I just haven't really been completely sure how to go about it. It's a little tricky to put into words why the experience itself kind of connected with me so much, but either way, let's just get into it. It just got really fucking gross outside out of nowhere. We're back to the Five Nights at Freddy's lighting. I hope you're happy. Super Mario 64 DS is a game that people are definitely pretty mixed on. Some people think it's a good remake, some people think it's a bad remake. I think it's a weird remake. I think as a game, just on its own, it's really good. There's not really anything else like it on the DS, and on its own, it's perfectly fine. But as a remake of Super Mario 64, it's just kind of strange, I think. I don't know, it seems kind of weird to remake a game with as much cut content as Super Mario 64, and then include, basically none of it. How much does Super Mario 64 DS even add? It adds, 2 tiny little shitty levels that have 2 stars each. And then there's the 3 new levels for the boss fights. That's it in terms of new areas. It's kind of rough. More playable characters is really, really cool, but man, the balance just isn't it. It's something else. Yoshi's really, cool and unique and fun. But man, it's really annoying how much stuff he can't do for, no reason. Give me one good reason this guy can't go to Big Boo's haunt. What's up with that? Luigi's so fucking broken in this game, it's unbelievable. There's, so little reason to play as anyone other than Luigi, it's ludicrous. He's so fast, he jumps so good, his backflip is like this. And, for what? What's the downside of playing Luigi? Oh, he carries stuff slower. Oh no! Wario got done so fucking dirty, it's actually not cool. Why is he like that? His mobility could give fucking Continental Drift a run for its money. And for what? Oh, you can break iconic Wario bricks. You can pick up signs. You can defeat IROC in 2 punches instead of 3. We love that for him. And then Mario's just kind of Mario. But he does kind of highlight a lot of the things that just feel different from the original in a not good way. It's kind of fucked up that you can't do a long jump into a wall kick anymore. That's kind of sad. And also, why is Mario the only character that can wall kick? That's silly. That doesn't make Mario more interesting. You're just taking a cool thing about the original and not giving it to 3 characters. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'll be real, Mario was definitely my least favorite when I was a kid. And it's not even really his fault. I just liked everyone else more. Yoshi's cool and unique. Luigi was so broken, he's the only reason my dumbass was able to beat the game as a kid. And I was a chubby kid with no social skills, so you knew Wario meant everything to me. But Mario's just Mario. He's too basic. This was over a decade before my streams and shit, where we just headcanoned Mario as just evil incarnate as a bit. Yeah, let's get this out of the way. Mario has Twitter Blue, somehow. It's a fucking miracle he can afford it. There's also the fact that I was still playing this game after I saw the game theory video where MatPat just paints Mario out to be just truly fucked up and twisted and evil and actively vindictive towards Luigi. That fucked me up really bad. I was 13 and it still fucked me up. Which is it's so silly looking back, but MatPat was just oh yeah, Mario might be evil and stuff, you know? And I was just there oh no! Mario's evil? What are we gonna do? There's other things about the controls that are kind of unideal. Side flips feel really awkward to do. Just to let them know that he had hidden successfully. I hate jumping. I fucking hate jumping. Why can't I do a side flip? Not being able to do a kick into a double jump feels bad. And there's the fact as well that this is a 3D platformer that you control with a D-pad. I mean, now you can get a patch that adds analog controls, and that's fantastic. But if you were playing this as a kid, you kind of didn't have that, so that's kind of rough. Despite all of that though, Super Mario 64 DS means the fucking world to me. It really does. And I just got so engrossed with it as a kid, and I connected with it so much, and it's taken me a while to figure out why I connected with the game so much, but I think I finally get it now. Super Mario 64 DS was like the first game that dropped me into a 3D world and kind of encouraged me to explore and get sort of lost in the world of the game. Now, Super Mario 64 DS was by no means the first 3D game I had ever played, but it was definitely the first I had ever played that really lent itself towards exploration, if that makes sense. Like, I'd played games like Marble Blast Gold, which is weirdly like a masterclass in how to make a thing control in 3D, but a lot of the levels in this game are not built with exploration in mind. A lot of them really aren't built with anything in mind, actually. It's very strange. This game has no fucking idea how good it actually is. It's really funny. And then there's Worms 3D, which also means a lot to me, and also has fun 3D environments. But getting around those environments is kind of like this.
They'll be singing in the valley.
So you can maybe see why that might not be as gripping to a small, feeble-minded child. And it's fucking sunny again. I don't know why today is like this. It's really starting to grind my gears. Super Mario 64 DS was really the first opportunity I ever had as a kid to get truly lost in the world of a video game. And that might seem strange, because there's not like a story to get wrapped up in or anything like that, you know. And I had played other story-driven games at that point in my life. Games like Curse of Monkey Island, Bowser's Inside Story. But obviously games like that don't give you the same level of freedom that Super Mario 64 DS does. And I think that's what really made it click for me. I was just dropped into a 3D world, and I could really go wherever I wanted and experiment with things. There was just an unparalleled level of freedom that, to me, I didn't know could exist in a video game, and that was beautiful. A lot of this was like well before I had consistent or good internet access, so back then the height of entertainment really was just wandering around Whomp's Fortress for the 16th time, feeling comfy and cozy. You know how it is. However, little old me getting so thoroughly engrossed and lost in this video game world did come with a little bit of a caveat. And that's that, eventually, I kinda ran out of shit to do. Because I beat the game. It did take me a weirdly long time to beat Super Mario 64 DS when I was younger, mainly because I fucking sucked at Bowser throws, and also because there was one secret star that I was missing for like a year, and I couldn't fucking find it anywhere. Turned out it was the red coin star in Bowser in the Dark World. So, yeah. But after owning this game for so long, I really kind of was running out of stuff to do, right? I'd gotten every star, I'd played all the fun mini-games, I'd scoured every glitch on the Mario wiki and done the ones I could do. There's a lot in this game. This game's fucked up, but it's very fun. So, in my desperate attempts to get everything I could out of my favorite video game, I started to create a game within a game. I remember watching a video a while back where someone did something similar with the original Mario 64, where they talked about how, as a kid, once they had beaten the game, they would go to levels that had those little cork boxes, and then they would carry them around the level pretending they were delivering a pizza to, like, a character somewhere in the level. That's fun, I like that. That's kind of what I did, except I did maybe ramp up the stakes from pizza a little bit, kinda.
I wonder what's for dinner.
Pizza the heck out of me!
What the fuck?
So, what silly little story did I invent in my head to milk as much content out of this wacky little game as I could possibly get? Well, I'll tell you. I came up with a story that a meteor was going to hit the Mushroom Kingdom. Bear with me. So, let me set the stage. There's a meteor coming to hit the Mushroom Kingdom. That's probably Bowser's fault. He probably did that. And it's a special meteor that causes no damage to the castle or anything. It just kills stuff, right? So if the 4 characters you play as don't hide, they would die. I don't know why I felt I needed to come up with a reason for that. I guess I just wanted a reason for why there was no damage once the silly little game was over. The old childlike wonder was putting in a lot of work, let me tell you. So the 4 characters you could play as would come together in the little area where you change characters, and they would discuss what they were gonna do.
Patansunan po ka na po sa fratello. Ay, patutuot sa naman tato. Ito talaga ko ito sa panakete. O parang ko naman
And what plan did they come up with? Well, I'll tell you. They were gonna hide away from the meteor. So that's the setup. There's a meteor coming to hit the Mushroom Kingdom. It's not gonna do any damage to the environment, but it's gonna kill everybody. So I had to take the 4 characters you could play as and hide them in weird spots that I felt were safe throughout the game. There is also the issue that this does not take into account the several toads that live in Peach's castle. I don't know what they were supposed to do to avoid the meteor. Maybe they hid in the princess's secret slide, which I know is like kind of in her castle, but I feel like it's also not. I feel like that's just a pocket dimension, right? Like they'd maybe be safe there. That's probably what I told myself as a kid. I maybe, yeah, I'm gonna go with that. So, where is everybody going to hide? Let me tell you. First things first, I hit the characters in the order that you unlock them because I was just like that. So first off, we gotta hide Yoshi. The characters did have like fairly consistent places that I would make them hide. I did occasionally mix it up a little, but I very much had favorites. And I remember that Yoshi would always hide in the sunken ship in Jolly Roger Bay. Now, this raises the question, is that a good hiding place if you want to not die from a meteor? Maybe. Maybe. It's either really good or really bad. Obviously, if Yoshi doesn't want to drown, he has to open up the treasure chests to drain all the water out of the ship. But I've heard that what that supposedly does is raise the ship up to the surface, which I feel like would be less safe. But at the same time, surely that's not what happens, because there's still, like, the ship is still at, like, a weird fucked up angle. And there's sand in here. So, like, how would it even go up? Then again, if the ship is stuck at the bottom of the ocean, there is the issue that does Yoshi run out of oxygen? Probably not. I feel like there's a good bit of oxygen down there. Like a fair amount. And like Yoshi's a weird fucked up Mario creature. I'm sure he could just like suck oxygen out of the dirt through his nose if he needed to, or something like that. Overall though, I think this is a good hiding place. There's a power star down there. I forgot to mention as well, I liked to hide them in places where there were power stars, because in my head, like, the energy from the star kept them safe. I really was just like this when I was a kid. I don't know why. It's a bit damp, it's a bit yucky, it's probably kind of cold, but again, Yoshi's like a weird fucked up dinosaur, he'd probably be okay. I'm gonna give this a B+ in terms of being a hiding place for evading a Mario meteor. Good job, Yoshi. Next up, we got Mario. And I know I've talked about how Mario was my least favorite when I was a kid, but Mario kind of got a really fucking good hiding place, to be honest. I remember hiding Mario in the town in Wet Dry World. And that's pretty fucking good. That's basically like an underground bunker, but nicer. So he did pretty well for himself, I think. It would maybe be like a bit cold and damp. Again, like the Jolly Roger Bay ship. But I don't know, there's a lot of space. I'm sure hypothetically he could go inside the houses. I know you can go in the houses in-game. But I'm sure if I just like looked away, Mario would do that. If it was up to Mario, he would go in the houses and just like mind his business. There's nothing really protecting the town from like the open air, I guess. Right? Because you drain the water from the town, which means the tube that leads from the town to the rest of Wet Dry World is just like open air. So maybe like the meteor residue would like get down there and kill him. Maybe not. I don't know. I also remember like making him crouch in these flowers because it like nearly covered his entire model. That did a lot for me as a kid. I don't know why, but it really did. That did a lot for me. Maybe he had to do that. He's gonna hide out in the flowers. Good for him. He's like Undertale, but Mario. Also, one other thing on my general distaste for Mario around this point in my life, that fucked up game theory video that like destroyed my perception of Mario for like a year and a half when I was younger, that came out in 2013. Which means I was still doing this when I was 13 years old. which you could maybe argue is too old for this kind of behavior. But at the same time, I was in secondary school then. And like, man, if there's a time where you need the old childlike wonder to kick in for a bit to kind of get away from it all, it would be then. So I think I get a pass for that. Overall, Mario's hiding place, I'm gonna give that an A-. I think it's pretty safe. He might not be safe from MatPat, but he sure is hell safe from that meteor. Good for him. Luigi. Where's Luigi gonna go? Luigi was probably my favorite out of the four when I was younger, because he's like the cool underdog. And like, Wario meant everything to me, but he also sucked ass to play as in this game. So, like, I just played as Luigi for like 85% of my playtime. He was just that broken. Which is weird, because actually he got kind of the shittiest hiding place out of the four, maybe. I remember I would take Luigi to Big Boo's haunt, and I would get the little thing that makes him invisible, and I would hide him in this room where Mr. I is. And I would kill Mr. I, because if you didn't do that, it would be kind of annoying, but yeah. In hindsight, this is not a good hiding place. Because, like, all of the other worlds in Super Mario 64 DS, we don't really know where they are, but they're definitely not at Peach's castle. They're just somewhere. Just off. Big Boo's haunt is literally in a tiny fucked up cage in the castle courtyard. And not only is it just there, but Luigi gets like shrunk down to fit in there. So I would assume he's like extra susceptible to meteor residue. And the only thing keeping him safe is like a door and however thick this painting is. Probably not very thick. Overall, Luigi's kind of fucked. I'm gonna give him a D-. He's not getting an F because I like him. In hindsight, it would have maybe made more sense to hide Luigi behind the painting in the King Boo fight level. That would probably be safer and further away from the fucked up meteor. But like, man, I never thought about that level when I was younger. It's so fucking boring, dude. The Goon Boss level is kind of cool, but like the other two new levels they introduced for like the boss fights, they're like not good, man. They're like nothing. Now we got Wario. That's my guy. Where's he going? I'll tell you where he's going. He's going in a dank-ass cave. Because I hit him in Hazy Maze Cave. Who knows, maybe he'll find some cool treasure down there. He loves that. Distinctly, I remember hiding him in the room for Metalhead Wario Can Move. Which, like, is super safe. Like, yeah, it's a cave, it's probably kind of yucky and gross, but, like, he's so far underground, he's fine. I remember also hiding him in, like, the behind the waterfall place. That was probably a bad idea, though. Because, like, that's just in the castle courtyard again, right? Like, you're just behind the waterfall. That's a bad place to be. He would not be safe there. And I think even little me managed to figure that out. So I stopped hiding him there. I care about Wario. I want him to be okay. So overall, Wario's hiding place, maybe not the most comfortable, but in terms of safety, this is probably the best one. I'm going to give him an A. Not an A+, because it's kind of yucky and gross. I'm glad he's safe. He means a lot to me. You might also be wondering how I, like, tied all of this together in practice. Because, like, once I've hit a character somewhere, yes, they're there, but, like, how do I get back to the room and change characters canonically? And it's very simple. I would just exit course. And in my head, what was happening was that the character who I had just hit was sending a hologram back to Peach's castle to let the next character know that it was safe to go and hide. I was something else. I had this shit planned to a fucking T. Those weren't the only places where I hit the characters, of course, because, like, if I just did that over and over, even my feeble child brain would have gotten bored pretty quickly. Other places that I distinctly remember would be, like, the igloo in Snowman's Land. I think that's pretty good, maybe. Actually, it is kind of just an igloo. I don't know. I forgot how much they changed this igloo in the DS version compared to the original. I think I like the DS one more, actually. I like this igloo. Not a great hiding place, though. I'm gonna give that like a C. Not great. There was also the slide in TTM, specifically the top of it. This one's pretty good. This is like a pocket dimension that's inside a mountain. Yeah, you're probably safe in here. Let's say like an A. This is pretty good. A minus. A minus. Wario's cave is safer, I think. The Wiggler Room in Tiny Huge Island. I don't know about this one. There's a hole in the ceiling. I wouldn't... It's not very comfortable either. You're just like on a big metal grate. No, yeah, this one's kind of bad. I'm gonna say this one's like a C+. I have very vivid memories of hiding Mario in the big house on Rainbow Ride. That's in the sky! That fucking sucks, dude. That's where the meteor is. The meteor residue is absolutely going to reach him and kill him. There's no way. He's fucked. He's cooked. That house is exposed. That's like a D. It's so over for Mario. And that wasn't even something I did out of my Mario distaste. I just genuinely thought that was an okay hiding place as a kid. Which it isn't. It's in the sky. It does have a fireplace though, at least, so it's kind of like cozy. I'll give him that. That's kind of fun. The Battle Fort. Is this safe? I kind of don't know. I'm not sure where it is. You enter it through a hole in the castle courtyard. If that's where it is, it's not safe. But again, if this is in like a weird fucked up pocket dimension, then maybe it is safe. I don't know. B minus, we'll say. And then the last place that I have like vivid memories of hiding the characters is this tiny shitty tunnel on Sunshine Isles. I'm certain I remember doing this at some point, which is really fucked up. Because this does not keep anybody safe from anything. It's just a hole. Did I put Mario here? No, surely not. I don't know who the fuck I hit here, but they were not doing so hard. I can tell you that much. F. That's a bad hiding place. If there was a meteor coming for you.
Those bullies won't bother me now.
Now, as much fun as I found this silly little process as a kid, the one thing that like consistently disappointed me was that it was very anticlimactic. Because once I had the fourth character in their nice little cozy space, you know, I felt all warm and happy inside. But like, now what? Right? I don't really know what I did once this was all resolved. I think sometimes I would go fight Bowser, like the final Bowser, Bowser in the sky. And like, I'd go to him, and he'd be like, "What the fuck? I thought I killed you with a meteor. What are you doing here, Mario?" But I don't think I did that very much. One, because you had to play as Mario to do it, which I didn't like. And two, I fucking sucked at Bowser throws. So like, if I was playing this game for fun, I would not go fight Final Bowser. So I don't know. Please tell me if you have any other weird experiences like this. I'm not done yet. I do have more to talk about, but like, if you had anything even remotely close to this experience that I had with any game, I would love to hear it, because this is just such a weird little thing that's been bubbling in my brain for the longest time that I've wanted to talk about. And not only has it been an experience that I had, but it's like the only experience of this kind that I've had, because I've never been able to replicate it in any other game, and I don't know why. Super Mario 64 DS was such an unmatched comfort game for me. And this was a massive factor in that. It's just like, the process of putting these characters that I liked in little safe spaces made me feel all cozy and happy. And it really did a lot for me. It was a really cozy game for me, and I really quite don't know why, but it was nice. It was nice. And like I said, I've never really been able to replicate this with any other game since. Obviously, there are 3D platformers that have cool places you can hide, but Mario 64 DS is like this perfect combination where everything comes together in a perfect way to just activate everything in my brain. It's a 3D platformer with a fun little world to explore. It's got that down, but also it's got multiple playable characters. There's a place where you can change characters. It's not like Sonic Adventure, right? Where you have to like X out and then go to another character's story or something like that. No, you can just go to the character room and change your character. That's big. It's got like that cozy sense of familiarity to it, because like even before I played Super Mario 64 DS, I was aware of Super Mario 64 and I watched a lot of videos on it. So I was like familiar with all the places in the game, and they meant a lot to me. And lastly, the big one, it was on the DS. That being like a portable console, which meant I could play it in bed at 11 PM and be snug and cozy and happy. That's big. That's a very important piece of the puzzle. It is kind of hitting me now that I don't really have anything more to say. This game did genuinely just mean the world to me when I was a kid, and it's a little difficult to get every reason why that was the case across. But either way, if you had an experience like this, or even if you had a game that you connected with in a similar way, I'd love to hear about it. I've wanted to talk about this forever, and I haven't really known how to get it across. I did talk about it on stream a little bit, and that's actually like the first time where I talked about this exact experience, and like on stream we went and put all the characters in their fun little places. It was nice. It was good. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you felt like this was a worthwhile use of your time. I hope you don't feel cheated. I didn't teach you anything. I just kind of waffled about a thing I did when I was 13. Or like maybe 10 to 13. I don't know. But yeah, I hope you had fun. Bye.